Can you imagine a life without advertisements? No one would know about the famous Coca-Cola or Pepsi, let alone the big rivalry between the two. Or no one would know about Subway, Eat Fresh. And there would no longer be those frequent political advertisements when it comes close to election time. In fact, without advertisements, many people would not know about Coca-Cola or Pepsi at all, let alone drink them. And Pepsi or Coca-Cola probably would not be as successful as they are today. Consumers might think that Subway is just another fast food restaurant chain that serves hamburgers and fries, or they might just reason out that Subway is another way of public transportation. And when the voters go to the ballot come time for elections, they will have no idea who's running, what the candidates stand for, let alone make a well-educated decision on who they believe should be our political representative. Advertisements are all around us, on television, magazines, billboards, and in every form of media out there. It affects our decision as a consumer, which plays a big role in many aspects of our lives. As a teenage girl, I am one of the biggest demographics being targeted by many different advertisers. I have researched the critics' and advocates' perspective on the manner of advertising. Today, I'm here to convince you all that advertising is not all bad, but it is essential and beneficial in our society in several different ways. In my speech today, I will first discuss the informative aspect that advertisements provide. Second, I will explain how key advertisement is to our economy. And then finally, I will defend against the critics' standpoint against advertising. Let's begin by first understanding how in our society, we as consumers and decision makers become informed. Advertisements are a great and central way that our society is informed and aware. One of the main tasks that advertisers fulfill is educating consumers about their products or their service, according to Nancy Day, an advertising information or manipulation article. Advertisers tell us the direct and the derived benefits of what they are advertising, and they also tell us the potential dangers or problems of what they are advertising. Because of advertising, consumers learn about other important information as well, about the products, such as some of the warnings, or how about obtaining this product. Due to advertisements, consumers may also be aware of their ability to obtain the product or service, or whether or not they really want or need that product or service. Due to advertising, that is also how or when to use or take advantage of a product. Advertisements are also a great way to get a message out about a charity. And advertising is what politicians use to inform the voters on the candidates they may or may not want in office come time for elections. According to Maria Culpa, in the article Advertising Gets Another Bum Rep, she says that advertisements tell us many different things, such as the fact that milk is what makes our bones strong, or where or how to buy affordable houses, or which car best fits our lifestyle according to our wants or our needs. Maria Culpa quotes, "Just as we need the information found in maps, we need the information in advertisements to buy the necessities of life." Since advertisements play a big role in how consumers are informed, advertising is also essential in order to not only have a good economy, but to have an economy at all. Without advertising, our economy would be in ruins. Advertising is how companies and businesses move forward. For example, there was a recession between 1990 and 1991, and many companies decided to take different approaches. Two companies, for example, is Nike and Reebok, two athletic rivalry companies. Reebok decided, based on the recession, that they were going to cut their advertising costs, while Nike, on the other hand, decided to triple their advertising costs. The result was that Nike made 9 times more profit than Reebok, and Reebok has never caught up since. Advertising is what encourages consumption, and consumption is what powers the whole economy. According to Nancy Day, by paying for advertising space, that is how companies are funded. That is why we have magazines, books, newspapers, radios, and television. And paying for advertising space is also why we have the ever-increasing internet. All in all, advertising is what boosts businesses and the economy as a whole. That being said, many people are still critics that are against advertising because of the bias that advertising usually has. Though advertisements usually are biased, bias is all around us, with or without advertisements. Some advertising critics are unhappy with the way that advertisers target certain demographics, according to Susanna Renato in Wajibu articles, because they target different ages, sexes, races, and religions. But according to Jeffrey Schrank, it is up to the individual to be aware of the persuasion techniques that are being used upon them. Because persuasion and pressure will occur throughout our lives no matter what. Nancy Day also says that advertising does show racial, cultural, and sexual stereotypes. But these stereotypes will not go away and just go extinct from eliminating advertisements. Eric Shaw says in his article, Cigarettes, some critics are also unhappy with how some advertising is unregulated. But throughout history, appropriate restrictions have been forced on advertising. For example, advertisers cannot give out any false information. Knowing that and that the restrictions have been applied, we come up with the example of alcohol advertising. Alcohol advertising has been regulated throughout history, yet people will still go out and buy alcohol and drink. If persuasion has anything to do with these actions, it's not from advertisements, but persuasion from their peers. Though many advertising methods are controversial, they are regulated and opinions will be given despite of them. Let's summarize on what was discussed today about defending advertising and the impact it has on our society. First, we learned that advertising is very beneficial and important in today's society. Our economies and us as consumers depend greatly on advertising in many different ways. It educates and informs consumers on what they do or do not want or need. And advertising is also important and necessary in order for businesses and companies to be successful and move ahead. I encourage you all today to be advocates of advertising and understand the importance and advantages of its existence.